Hiya, Honest Discussioner here. This is a response to Goat and his video, the Euthyphro, I'm going to butcher that word, dilemma is still stands. And it's discussing the essence of God in that does God do what he does because it's inherently good? Does he just do what's right for the sake of being right? Or is it right because he does it? Now, Goat is going to disqualify the first one. He says for atheists and theists alike, and I'm going to have to disagree with him on that. Because I know that God could conceivably make the universe, and he could also make the rules and set them to be a certain way, and then he could decide to do something that is bad. I mean, if he can do anything. Now, this would kind of contradict the whole him being good thing. But showing that that is a possibility, that you could have an omnipotent, omniscient being that would know how to do bad things, since he's omniscient, he could conceivably do bad things. He just doesn't because he's a great guy. Now, I'm an atheist, so, again, I think this whole thing is relatively meaningless. But I don't think we can throw out that option, and I don't think we even want to either. In the end, I don't think it matters, but I think we can make an important point here. If you look at my atheist morality video, I think just the first one, maybe both of them, but I know the first one has my main point for this video, that we should be able to discern what is good for humanity. We should be able to understand what is inherently good. Now, the problem comes in what I mentioned in one of my more recent videos, Because God Said So, in that as atheists we have been debating theists under the presupposition that God exists, and we're not doing it on purpose, but the way that they are debating, we are inevitably led in that direction, and this is everyone, including me. And I think you can see this in Goat's video as well. We're just talking about the essence of God, or the essence of Jesus, and not whether, most of the time, not whether or not he exists in the first place. And I think this argument, or this dilemma, can really show that the biblical God is not God at all. And here's why. Now, when we're in this discussion, in this debate with theists, what they always do is, whenever we come to them with evidence, they'll say, well, that's interesting. And what the thought process that seems to go on in their mind is, I wonder how this works with God. Juxtapose this next to the way an atheist thinks, or at least I would argue most free thinkers think, and how I would like to think that I go about things, is that when I'm faced with evidence, I say, is this right? Does this make me wrong? Now, the theist doesn't do that. The word "if" never enters their mind. So whatever we come up with this whole dilemma, it's only kind of helping them come up with their decision on how they can best make God fit. And we should be concentrating more on how to make him not fit, or not how to make him, how to show that he doesn't, or it doesn't. When we can do that with this argument. Because what they've been doing this entire time is trying to show that no matter what, God is good. And you can't, we've been trying to go about this, showing that the biblical actions are wrong. And they've been countering with, well, we know they're not wrong because God did it. Because God said so. And that's what, that was what my video was about before. We have to be making the argument that no, because those things are wrong, those things that mentioned in the Bible that God supposedly did, we know that isn't God. Let me tell you a story to illustrate this. There was a man that was sleeping one night, and he dreamed that he died. And he woke up, and he said, and he said to his wife, he said, "Honey, I'm dead." And she's like, "No, you're not, silly." And he kind of, insists for, weeks that he's dead, and, he just keeps going about doing his thing, but he says, no, I'm dead. So his wife gets a little worried about this, and takes him to the doctor. The doctor examines him, and the doctor says, "No, sir, you're very much alive." He says, "Well, no, I'm dead. I know I'm dead." Well, so he tries to prove the guy wrong, and he shows him all the medical evidence that he goes about in a way that shows that only living people bleed. He shows him examples of dead people getting cut and not bleeding, and eventually, he convinces the man, "All right, well, fine, I'll grant you that. I'll grant you that only living people bleed." And as soon as he says that, the doctor makes a quick, very small cut, and the guy starts bleeding, and he says, "Oh, what do you know? I guess dead people do bleed after all." See, this is what the theists have been doing with this argument. As soon as we show them that what God does is wrong, then they're just going to change it and say, "Well, no, it can't be wrong. Because it's from God." We have to show that we have to make the assertion that it's not God because it's wrong. If someone claims that they cannot get lost, and you ask them to take you to the grocery store, and they wind up in the desert, no one would think, "Oh, I didn't know the desert was a grocery store." They'd think, "Well, this guy obviously was wrong about not being able to get lost, because he just got lost." So, theists, that is my challenge to you, to let the "if" get into your mind, because that is what intellectual honesty is all about. It's understanding that you could possibly be wrong and letting that actually soak in a little bit. Because until that happens, you can't really say you've been defending anything. You've just been trying to make it fit. You've been sitting there with the big triangle block trying to fit it in the square for so long, and you're always able to get one corner in. And then as soon as you can't get the other corners in, you'll just take that first corner out and put the other corners in and show, "No, that corner works." But you can never really get the whole triangle in. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit reality. So anyway, Goat or any theist out there, you're welcome to make a response video to this as well. I'd love to hear any of your thoughts on this matter. Have a nice day. Honest Discussioner, out.